Hey, how are you doing today? And welcome to the overview on the music theory course. Now, music theory is super important, and I know you guys probably know that already, but it's one thing that people are really scared to learn. But don't worry, I'll make it nice and easy for you guys. It's going to be a step-by-step process, and if you go through the course, you'll have a solid understanding on music theory. And music theory is really what makes you a true musician. My friend always used to say, it's what separates the wannabe musicians from the real musicians. So you have to make a choice. Are you going to be the wannabe, or are you going to be the true musician who knows his theory, knows it backward and forward, and can use it to apply to songs? So here's how this course is organized. If you go up here to the music theory course tab, you have your music theory course basics, and these are all the lessons on those. Then there's going to be a midterm, then there's going to be application, and there's going to be a final exam. So basically, the basics, these are the fundamental building blocks. This isn't the fun part. I'm going to be honest, it's kind of dry. It's kind of, it's the fundamentals. It's not going to be fun and unicorns and rainbows and all that stuff. It's going to be, this is what you need to know to make it fun. And once you get to the application section, this is where it starts getting really fun, because this is where we start taking all these building blocks and applying them to real songs. So what you're going to want to do is first go through the basics. And I want to note too that I take you guys all the way from the beginning, all the way. The first lesson is note names. What are the names of the notes on piano? And depending on where you are in your development, you can skip some of these lessons, Maybe you already know note names and, you want to move on to whole and half steps. Or maybe you know sharps and flats and you already know your scales and you already know rhythm. So maybe you need to go into intervals right away. But I wanted to make this right from the beginning, so if you've never played piano before, you're still fine. You can still go all the way from the note names. And what you're going to want to do is go through all these lessons and then take the midterm. And the purpose of the midterm is to see if you're ready to move on. Don't think of it as an exam and I'm going to grade you on it and you have to feel good or bad about it. It's simply a tool, and you see which ones you got wrong. And if you got an answer wrong, it'll have a link back to the lesson that I explained it in. So if you got one wrong, no big deal. Click on that link and relearn that lesson, and then go back, take those questions of the midterm again and see if you get them right. So it's basically just a tool to make sure that you're progressing exactly how you want to be progressing. So once you finish the midterm, then you're going to go into the theory or the application section, and you're going to go through all these lessons and apply all these fundamental building blocks to actual songs and to ways you can actually use them on the piano. And it gets really fun once you start getting into this section, because you're gonna learn how to improvise, you're gonna learn how to harmonize on a melody, you're gonna learn cool left hand patterns to use to really spice up your songs and make them cool. And then you're gonna take the final exam. And the final exam, just like the midterm, if you get some wrong, it's no big deal. You just want to go back and make sure you figure out exactly why you got them wrong and go from there. So let's go through some of the actual, I'll just go through one of the actual lessons and show you how to get the most out of this course. So one thing I really want to harp on is how learning works. And a lot of people think that learning is, the teacher tells you what to do and then you learned it. But that's not how it is at all. And you guys know this. Like, remember in math class when the teacher will be saying something on the board and you'll be following along, and every step you'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And you do the next step. Oh yeah, that makes sense. And then you got your homework and you tried to do it. And all of a sudden you got the first problem and you're like, I have no idea where to begin. It's because you don't learn by watching videos. Watching videos only shows you how to learn. So the first part of these video lessons is going to be the lesson part. So you're going to click on the lesson and you're going to watch it, and it's going to show you how to learn, but you're not actually learning when you're watching the video. And then it's going to have the key points so you can organize them and summarize them and really get them into your head. And then it's going to have an exercise. And this is where you actually learn. So it's going to show you an exercise on how to apply what you just learned to actually, notes on the piano. And that's when you actually solidify it in your brain. And some of these, there'll be one exercise, and this one has two exercises. There's also, a online exercise that's on the computer. It's on a website. And what I want to talk about for the online exercises is the at the piano exercises are always the best exercises. And I don't want you guys to get roped into only doing the online exercises because the online ones are easy. You know, you can sit on your couch, watch TV, and be doing some of the online exercises at the same time. And those are good as supplementary exercises, but you want to really make sure you're doing the at the piano exercises because that's really how you get better. So that's what you do. You go through both of the exercises. Then there's going to be a couple PDFs. So, for example, here's a note names PDF. I also have these downloadable. If you want to download them all at the same time, you can just go right to the music theory section, like the home section of music theory, and I'll have all the downloadable PDFs just in case you guys want to download them all at the same time. So they're just things that will help you out, and you might want to even put a folder on your desktop and save all the PDFs in one folder that says like learning piano or something like that. It might make it a lot easier in the long run. And then there's going to be a quiz and an action step. So the quiz, you're going to click on the quiz, and the quizzes are really important. And like I said before, don't think of these as assessments where am I doing good or am I doing bad? Think of them as a way to figure out what parts of the lesson you need to work on. So there's going to be some questions. So for example, what note is this? And if you've gone through the lessons, you know this is the note A. So you simply click on that. If you're having trouble, you can scroll over the hint and it'll give you a little hint onto what note it is. And you go through all the questions. And one thing I really want to tell you guys is make sure you really go through these slow and methodically. A lot of beginners, they'll rush through the quizzes and not really think through each one. And you're not going to learn anything if you're not thinking through why is this a certain way? Why is this the correct answer? So make sure you really spend the time and go through them slow enough where you're really getting the most out of these quizzes. Then you hit submit quiz, and it's going to show you which ones you got wrong, which ones you got right. If you got one wrong, it's not a big deal. So I only answered one question. So it says you got 1 out of 14 correct. And it'll have the answer provided. So this will be the answer that you gave, and I didn't answer this question, so it's going to be blank. And it'll show you the correct answer, and then after it, it'll show you a little clue on why the answer is correct. So if you went through the first lesson, you realized we talk about the acronyms for learning the notes really fast and the accelerated learning, and so we use the dog, the cat, and the elephant to remember CDE. So remember the cat is to the left of the doghouse. So if you got that answer wrong, now you can see why you got it wrong, and you can remember, oh yeah, it's the animals acronym, and you can quickly figure out why that is the correct answer. So once you go through the quiz, then there's going to be an action step, and usually it just says something like, you know, make sure you take the quiz, make sure you're doing the exercises, and it's going to tell you, like this one says, you know, do this every day, a couple of times every day. So, and it's just, I really want to just drill into you guys that it's really important to don't just watch these lessons straight through. Watch a lesson, apply it right away. I promise you, you'll get so much more results, and that's how you learn piano the right way. You know, that's how you learn it and really drill it into your brain the right way. And then you just click on the next lesson, and you can go on to the next one. So that's all there is for music theory. I'm glad you guys are taking this step because a lot of people are lazy with music theory and they don't want to learn the theory. They just want the little tricks and the little tactics. And I know you guys are better than that, and you want to learn piano the right way, and you want to actually learn the theory behind it. So that's all I got for the music theory course. Go through all the lessons. I promise it'll help you guys out. So thanks a lot for watching. Peace out and happy practicing.